Good morning, friends. Welcome to Ultravision Academy. Now, this is our first lecture in computer subject for standard 12 English medium. First of all, we will discuss the various topics that we have to study in 12th science. First of all, we have to study about advanced HTML and Composer. HTML is a language that is used to create web pages on internet, and Composer is an open source software in which we can create web pages very easily without writing code. So that is the benefit of Composer. So we have to study that. Another thing that we have to study, that is CSS. Remember, CSS means cascading style sheet. HTML is a very primary language, so very few facilities are given in HTML. So if you want to give special formatting, then you can use CSS. So it is a style sheet. The third one that we have to study here, that is JavaScript. And nowadays the most popular language is JavaScript. So several different works that we cannot do using only HTML, that we can perform using JavaScript. So we have to study that. Then we have to study about e-commerce. E-commerce means how electronic transactions are performed on internet platform. And we have to create e-commerce website also, our own e-commerce website that we have to create. Then we have to learn about m-commerce. Nowadays this is becoming more popular than e-commerce. M-commerce means mobile commerce. At last, we have to study about object-oriented programming technique. So first of all, we will study what is object-oriented programming, and then we have to study a language that is known as Java, and Java is based on object-oriented technique. So in Java we can create various types of programs. So all these are the topics that we have to study in 12th standard computer subject. We will see one by one all these topics. So first we will start from our chapter number 1, that is creating HTML forms using Composer. See, we don't need to write the entire coding of HTML. Composer provides all the coding, and we can create web pages very easily in Composer. So that we have to study. But before that, we must understand what is HTML. You know, the full form of HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. So this is a language that is used to create web pages on internet. Now, in this chapter, we have to study about HTML forms. So what is a form? First of all, we have to see what is form. Nowadays, you know, most of the work is done online. So suppose we need to send some information regarding us to remote place, then we can create a form, and then we can ask anybody to fill information. So this way a form is useful. A form in HTML is like a container that is used to collect different kinds of input from the user. So students can fill up admission forms to take admission. You know, railway also provides such forms. These forms can be used to collect various types of information regarding railway reservation. So HTML forms contain elements like label, checkbox, text input fields, radio buttons, submit buttons, reset button, and many more controls. Remember, these are the input controls: label, check boxes, text input fields. So using these input controls, we can input some data. For example, this is a simple form and here two elements are given. This is text box element, as we have mentioned here, text input, and these two are the password boxes that is used to give password. So we have to create such form. We have to learn here how to create such form. Now if you want to study how to create a form, then you must know the various elements of HTML form. Remember, in HTML most of the work is done using elements, or you can say tags. So actually there are two types of tags: paired tags and unpaired tags. Paired tags, it means it comes in pair, whereas unpaired tag is single one. So we have to study various elements of form. Means if you want to create a form, then which elements you need to use. So form elements are the objects used in a form. So these are the elements: form element, input element, text area element, select and option element. So these four elements are used to create a form. And if you want to start a form, then you have to start with the form element. Inside form element, if you want to create text box, radio button, etc., then you can use input element. If you want to create text area, then you can use text area element. And same way, if you want to create a drop down menu, or you can say pull down menu, then you can use select and option element. These two different elements are there. So we will start studying one by one. The first one is form element. The form element is used to create an HTML form. So if you want to create HTML form, then you have to use form element. It acts as a container for all the elements used in the form. It is like a container. It is because this HTML form element is a paired element. It means starting and ending, both the things you have to give. And remember, whatever information you write in between less than and greater than sign, or you can say triangular bracket, then it is known as a tag in HTML. So this is form tag, or you can say form element. It is paired tag. So at the end you have to give /form to complete the form tag. So it is like a container, form element and /form element. So if you want to start form, if you want to start creating form, then you have to give form element, and at the end you have to give /form element to complete the form. So this is form element. Inside form element you can create various input controls like text box, password box, etc. And then at last you have to give /form. So this is the way you can create a form. Now here some extra information is given inside form tag. So before completing the triangle bracket, or you can say greater than sign, you can give some information, you can give some extra information. For example, here it is written action is equal to register.html. Same way another thing written, method is equal to post. Remember, this is known as So now we will see how these two attributes work. Action is equal to register. Action is attribute that is used to determine where to send the data, and method attribute determines how to send the data. We will see one by one these two elements. Actually, there are three attributes in form element, but here we have to discuss about two: action and method. The third one is name attribute, but that is very common. For each and every object, whatever object you create on screen, you must give a name. So that is common. Without giving any name, you cannot use a particular element. So that is why name is compulsory. The other two attributes of form element are action and method. Remember, action attribute is used to specify where to send the form data when the form is submitted. So whenever you click on submit button to submit a form, the action attribute determines where to send the data, and that is why it was written action is equal to register.html. Actually, we have given just the name of the file. Instead of that, we can also give the entire address where we have to send the data. It takes the file name as its value. This file is opened when the user clicks on submit button after filling the data in the form. So whenever you click on submit button, it will send the data towards this server, and the address of the server is given in action attribute, and whatever file name you have given with action attribute, that will receive the form data. The another attribute that is very important, that is method attribute. Method attribute specifies the HTTP method that is used when sending when the data is sent. Remember, the full form of HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is a protocol. Protocol means rule to send the data. Method attribute takes two values, get or post. So either you can give get or you can give post. And if you forget to give any, then automatically it will take get value. Method determines the way of sending information towards the server. So remember the difference between these two attributes, action and method. Action determines where to send the data, and method determines how to send the data. We will discuss the values of method attribute one by one. The first one is get value. The get method retrieves the data from the form and sends it to the server by attaching it at the end of URL. URL means Uniform Resource Locator. It means address, this address of site. The address is given inside address bar. This is known as address bar. This is just a simple Google form. So here to search something, we can write the detail here. We have already written Albert Einstein, suppose, and we have given search. You can see that the value of a form, this is form element. So the value of a form means Albert Einstein, you can see here in address bar. It is written. So get, if you use get method, then the details of form means whatever data you have written in form, that can be seen in address bar in get method. Get method allows only limited amount of information to be sent at a time. At a time you can send very few information in get method. So if you want to create a form and if you want to send several details, then you cannot use get method. For that you have to use post method. Get value is used in search engines in order to get required pages from internet. So you know very well, this is Google search engine and this is the text box that is used to search something on internet. The default value of method attribute is get. It means if you forget to give either get or post value, then automatically it will take get value as default. For example, form method is equal to get. This is the way of using get method. Another is post value. In post method, the data is sent as a block through the HTTP transaction. So you cannot see the form data in address bar. Address bar ma dekhashe nahi. The data is included in the body of the request. Post method does not have any restriction on data length. So you can give several data. You can send several data using post method. Forms used for accepting information from client computers and store it into servers use post method. So admission forms, Facebook form, all these are the examples of post method. Information like sign up form, admission form contains post method in their form. So we have already studied about form element. The another element is input element. After input element, we have to study about text area, and then at last we have to study about option tag. So we will see input element first. Input element. Input elements are used to insert various input controls and buttons. So using input tag, we can input text box, password box, or radio button, or checkbox, or submit button, or reset button, or a simple button without any special work. So all these are the input controls and buttons that we can create using input element. So how we can create all these elements that we have to see one by one. First of all, we will see how to create it. Input element contains different attributes like type, name, and value. As already we have discussed about form element, there were two attributes in form element: action attribute and method attribute. Same way, here three attributes are given: type, name, and value. Type attribute used to determine the object or field. For example, input type is equal to text. Here also remember, this is the name of attribute and this is its value. Text is the value of type attribute, and to distinguish these two, we have to give equal to sign in between. So if you give input element like this, then it will create a text box for you. Another is name attribute. As we have discussed earlier, name is compulsory for each and every object you create on screen. If you don't give name attribute, or if you forget to give it, then it becomes useless. The particular object becomes useless. So name determines the name to be used for a field in the form. So if you want to create a text box with user nm name, then you can give like this: input, here there is mistake, input will come, input type is equal to text and name is equal to user nm. The third one is value attribute: type, name, and third one is value. Input type is equal to text, name is equal to user nm, and value is equal to username is given. So it specifies the default value of a field. Default value of a field. So if you create a text box, then box will be username. So now we will see how to create all these elements using input control. First of all, we will see how to create a text box. Assume that we need to create a text box. So username, that is label, and to create a text box we have to give input tag. Here also there is mistake, input will come. Input type is equal to text, name is equal to user name, and value is equal to username. So it will create a text box like this. So in front of text box, username is written, that is label, whatever we have written before input element, that is label, and whatever written inside text box means username, that is its value. So here we have given value is equal to username. So username it shows inside text box. Remember, this creates a text box field for input. A user can enter single line data in a text box. It means we cannot write several lines here. We have to write in a single line. Its default value is 20 characters. Means you can see 20 characters at a time, but we can write several characters in a single input control tag, means in a single text box. Its maximum length to write text is 256 characters actually. Another one is password box. So if you want to create a password box, then you have to give label, suppose enter password, then input type is equal to password, name is equal to pass1. Remember, if you want to create a password box, then you have to give type is equal to password. So type is equal to password actually creates a password box. Name we can give anything. So here the name is given pass1, doesn't matter. So it will create a password box like this. Enter password, that is label, and password box is created. So this creates a password box field. A character typed inside the password box is converted into non-readable characters. It means it just shows some special sign here whenever you write something inside password box. It doesn't show the actual character. It hides the actual characters what we have written. The third one is radio button. So this is a radio button. There are two radio buttons given here, and this is gender option. So if you want to create something, if you want to specify some information, then you can also use radio buttons, and among the group of radio buttons it allows only one radio button to be selected at a time. If you click on male radio button, then this will become active. If you click on female radio button, then it will select this first male option. So any one option can be selected among the group of radio buttons. So gender, that is the label. If you want to create a radio button, then you have to give input type is equal to radio. Remember, type is equal to radio creates a radio button. Name is equal to gender, and value is equal to male. And at last, whatever it is written here, that will get displayed after the radio button. Another radio button that is created. Input type is equal to radio, name is equal to gender, value is equal to female. Any one radio button can be selected at a time from group of radio buttons. Remember, only one option we can select. It shows a black dot sign when a particular radio button is selected. So if you click on male radio button, then it will show you such circle, black dot. If you click on female option, then here it will show you such black dot. But here male option gets deselected. Next is checkbox. Now if you want to select several options among the given options, then you can use checkbox. So here suppose hobbies option is given. So we need to select either any one or all the options, then we can use checkbox. It is also possible to deselect all the options here. So select your hobbies, that is label. And if you want to create a checkbox, then remember inside input element you have to give type is equal to checkbox, checkbox. Name and value, whatever you need, you want to give, you can give. Same way another checkbox is given, that is for reading. So this way we can create a checkbox. Remember, multiple checkboxes can be selected at a time. Next is submit button. And submit button is used to send the form data towards the server. Submit button is used to send the form details towards the server. For example, input type is equal to submit. So remember, if you want to create a submit button, then you have to give type is equal to submit. If you want to create text box, then you have to give type is equal to text. If you want to create a password box, then you have to give type is equal to password. If you want to create radio button, then you have to give type is equal to radio. For checkbox, you have to give type is equal to checkbox. Same way, if you want to create a submit button like this, then you have to give type is equal to submit. Name कुछ भी दे सकते हैं. Value is equal to submit is given here, and whatever detail you write in value attribute, that will be displayed on radio submit button, on this button. Same way another is reset button. Clicking on reset button clears the form details and loads the form with its default values. It means it clears the form details. For example, input type is equal to reset. Remember, type is equal to reset creates a reset button. Name कुछ भी दे सकते हैं. Value is equal to reset is written here, so it shows reset on button. We can also create a simple button. Input type is equal to button. If you want to create a simple button, then you can give type is equal to button, and value is equal to OK return, so it will display OK on button. In the second chapter, we have to study about JavaScript. So JavaScript event can be used to perform some task when user clicks on the button. Remember, the work of submit button and reset button is clear. It means it is predefined. But if you create a simple OK button or any type of button, then you have to specify its work. So for that, we have to give on click is equal to add. That we have to discuss actually in second chapter. So just now remember that we can create simple button like this.